food mavericks and mavericks of all descriptions. I'm Teddy LaRose. Today I'm going to do a really fun recipe which I pre-tested for you. It's cinnamon rolls. Oh, really, they turned out better than I would expect. Now, we've been making what I call the evolved dough for many, many different kinds of projects. From pizza to fruit-filled to cinnamon rolls, and there's a video on evolved dough. Maybe Donnie will put the number of that video underneath. And today I changed the dough out just a little bit by adding simply a little more sugar. So I've got it in here, and it's been sitting here for about an hour, and it's, getting there. Doubled in bulk. There's different ways to do the evolved dough. You can put it in, wait for an hour, do something with it. You can let it rise a little longer, put it in the fridge, do it tomorrow. It's really fun. So I like it. It's very flexible, and it's just rising like crazy. Now, before we take the dough out to roll it into the rolls, we're going to make the filling so it's easy later. On the, first test, I used warm butter for this, and it was, oh man, it was such a mess. It was just like, it was impossible to crumble it and stuff. So instead, I'm not going to use the room temperature butter. This is not butter, obviously. This is brown sugar. And I'm not going to pack it. I'm just going to plunk it in a cup like so. Then we're going to put some cinnamon in there. Hard for me to say enough about quality of stuff. Get fresh stuff if you can. Sometimes you can't get it at the usual sort of grocery stores, but in many places there are ethnic stores like East Indian food stores, Mediterranean food stores, even Hispanic food stores where you can get really fresh, well, a lot fresher anyway, spices. Go for it if you can. So this is going to be about 1.5 teaspoons of cinnamon. This is pretty good stuff. You can also order it in the mail. That's what Ricky did with this. It's pretty good stuff. Personally, I wouldn't order huge quantities and have to keep it a long time. It might cost a little more, but it'll be fresher. And this is one of those things that makes a difference between whether you're kind of famous or not. Sort of, it looks like about 1/2 teaspoon of cardamom. That's a lot, but everyone around here loves it. I would, if I had a better spoon, I would have done about 1/4 teaspoon. If you like the other sparkly spices like clove and nutmeg, go for it, but only a little. And clove is tricky if it's not fresh. Nutmeg, only a little. That's what I would suggest. Okay, and then we're going to put some butter in here. This is cold out of the fridge. I'm going to find a knife or something. Yeah. And I'm going to use half of this. I'm just going to cut that in there. We're going to be working this with our hands, so just something like that. Okay. Then, look, you got your butter here, right? You do your pan. See, it's so easy. You don't have to wonder later when your hands have sugar all over them like I forgot to do the pan. If you're lucky enough to have one of those nice spray things, I like the coconut one that I got locally. It was really pretty good stuff, so that you don't have to get really funky stuff. Okay, so now a big fun bit. We're going to clear the runway here and get the dough out here. This is a process that kind of likes to have, don't mind, cinnamon's not too bad, not wet, nice and clean, guys. And I'm just going to, this is fun. Now, if you don't have a rolling pin, I've shown this in other videos. I found this. It's even better than any rolling pin I've ever had. And as you can see, it's not completely cylindrical, but there's something about that that's actually great. It's a very heavy cup. So if you find yourself in a pinch and you don't know what to do, there's probably something around that's round. Cylindrical, even partially cylindrical. Okay, so now see, this has been, I put it in here to keep it out of the breeze. Again, the culturing of yeasted dough is not really very hard. It just doesn't like a couple of things. It doesn't like it too hot, and it doesn't really appreciate it too cold. So you get the hang of that. Okay, it has fluffed itself up. It's a very sticky dough. I don't know if you can see that it's really sticky. which is good. Plunk. Okay? Now then, I've got it floured because otherwise it would just be sticking to everything. Now this particular dough, I call it a 4-cup dough. That means if there's 4 cups of flour. This particular recipe doesn't need that much. So I'm going to want to have about 3/4 of this only. So we'll take the rest and we'll play with it some other time, some other way. We'll see. Okay, there we are. And this, you'll need this later. Put it where it's going to get away. Okay, now then, you can see it's kind of flumpy, which is actually kind of good. This has butter in it, so it's really nice and desserty. If you move this way a little, Don, you'll be out of the way. There we go. Okay, now, if you just sort of pat out a rectangle first, it's less work with the rolling pin. And this is a really pretty fast job. As you can see, it's like it's soft enough dough that I can do this. If the dough were a little stiffer, it would also work, but you might have to roll it a little more. Something like 10 by 14-ish, something like that for this much dough. So, I eyeball most things, but I've been looking at pieces of paper my whole life, so it's really easy. Okay, that's pretty good. Check. Now, the reason I didn't do the topping earlier was because I was going to be all sticky and minchy with this anyway, and then I wouldn't have to wash my hands in between everything. I try and work that out. So this, what we're going to do is just kind of crumble the butter in there. This might take too long, and we might want to pause it. It's not totally even, but most of the butter is, 1/2-inch pieces. Now here's the tricky bit, but kind of fun bit. It sort of likes to just lump around. Do your best to get it even on there. And leave a little space on the end of straight dough, like, maybe 1/4 inch or a little more, because you're going to need that to seal it. See, as you can see, not that even. It works though. It'll melt in there. Just try and get it kind of even on there. No big giant deal, because as you know, it's going to be all rolled up. It's just give it a chance there. Okay. So you could put more than that, but that's going to be pretty sweet. The dough itself had about a 1/4 cup only of sugar, not brown sugar. Okay. Now then, all right, this is fun. Now, what you want to do is roll it from the small end over, and you make it as tight as you can. And this is a really fun bit. I love this bit. Okay. Wow. There, it's really nice and soft, easy to do. Now, this particular one could actually be a T-ring. Shall we do a T-ring or shall we do... Okay, T-rings are only differ in shape, actually. So, if you want to get into this and kind of know all the ins and outs and be backstage with me, I'm starting the first course, Food Mavericks 1000. And it will go into lots of details on this. Now you can see how cute this is. Kind of try and smish the end together. This is the nice person's end. The person who says, "Oh, I'll take the one without as much filling." That person. This end. It'll be obvious. Okay, now, before I do the next step, I'm going to put it in the tray. Boink. Okay. There we go. Very nice one. Now, we want to cut it a little bit. And if you cut it on the board over on the cutting counter there, it's going to be harder to move into this. So if you want to, you can cook these actually on a cookie sheet. And if you flour the top like this, it'll be easier to cut. So I'm going to just cut it. You want to cut through enough to see the inside, but you don't need to cut all the way through to the bottom. This is not the easiest place for me to do so. Let's back up over here. Back up more. Okay, I think this is easier. Okay, so how much time have we got here? Okay, see, I'm just, you know, you go for it. And if it won't go through, for one thing, get a nice sharp knife, but also you can flour the top and then you won't have as much issues. So you see, what'll happen is this will expand kind of like a flower. They're very pretty. And when I used to do them for conferences, I'd fill them with different kinds of filling. Very fun. Very, like, really a big hit too. People loved them, and I love them. So then you can kind of work it around. It's a very soft dough. I'm not going to do much. But see, just give it a little bit of a swirly there. Now I'm going to let it sit for about half an hour, and then I'm going to bake it at 350 for maybe 40 minutes. And there we go. See you soon.